What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I apologize for the brightness, but it's very bright today. So if you're watching this video, odds are you've probably watched my first couple videos in this series, building this 80-pound Faktor Turbo from Hoyt. So if you haven't watched those videos, go watch those. I'll link them in the description. But today is going to be sighting in day, but before that, I ran into a couple problems with this bow that I wanted to tell you guys about. So if you watched my last video, which was setting up the rest and timing the rest, you'll realize that this is actually a different rest on this bow right now. I had originally put on a cable driven drop away rest, and it tuned great. It tuned a perfect bullet hole through the paper with the bare shaft, but then when I went to run my fletched arrow through the paper, it was giving me a weird tear. So what was actually happening is the cable, for whatever reason on this short brace height turbo model, the cable was bunching up and it was coming in contact with the fletchings, but it wasn't hitting the bare shaft. So the fletched arrow was actually shooting worse than the bare shaft. So just to check and see if that was the problem, I threw on this limb driven rest and it cleared the problem up right away. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. It's just an older style trophy taker limb driven rest drop away, but I like that rest a lot. I ran it for years, so I just threw that on there to make sure that that was the problem, and it was. So I think I'm just going to keep it on there. But the tuning process was the exact same for this rest as it was with the other drop away, so I'm not going to make a new video on that. Second problem, when I had originally started to sight in with the old rest, before I realized the fletching contact was there, I actually, with this sight that I'm using, this is a Rocky Mountain 3-pin slider with the dovetail, I actually ran out of the left and right adjustment on this sight. So I don't know if you can see it, but on the mounting bracket on this sight, let me sit it down for you. The mounting bracket right here, these two screws right here were initially on this other side of the mounting bracket. So all I did was I took the screws out and then screwed it in from this side, and that gave me more of the left and right adjustment that I needed to be able to get this sight shooting right. So not all sights can do that, but some of them can. So just make sure that it's not going to throw off your second and third axis, which I did already adjust on this sight. I didn't make a video because I'm not great at it, and there's much better videos out there. So if you need to do that with your sight, just search for second and third axis adjustment. There's a lot of good content on YouTube for that. Third problem that we ran into, I actually finally got my bow scale set up, and if I had had it set up, this was something I would have done already before I even started building this bow, but I didn't. I just finally got it set up, and when I scaled this bow out, it was only scaling at about 76, 75 pounds, which isn't a big deal, but I got this bow specifically because I wanted it to be 80 pounds for a little bit more serious hunting, for the hog hunting things we're going to do. So to get it back to 80 pounds where I wanted it, I had to add a pretty decent amount of twist to the strings and cables, which I don't recommend at all, especially if you're not familiar with doing this stuff. I just did it because this is kind of why I bought this bow. I wanted to play around with it. I wanted to increase my knowledge on working on bows. So I added some twists in the string and cable and made sure everything was fairly even. Got it scaling just over 80 pounds, and then I knew it was going to come down a little bit when I actually had to go back and tune it after adding all those twists. So I added all the twists. It was pulling about 81 pounds, and then I had to go back in, yoke tune for the paper tune, and then cable tune for the draw stops, and then after doing all that, getting it back tuned, it's pulling at about 78, 79 pounds right now, which is pretty much what I want. So with all that being said, we are finally ready to start sighting this bow, and I couldn't be happier. It's mid-January here. It's actually February, early February here in Kentucky. Finally got a decent day. It's been freezing, snow's starting to melt, it's sunny. It's a perfect day to sight in. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to step up about 5 yards from the target, make sure that the sight's going to be close enough to hit when I step back to 20. And then when I step back to 20, that's when I'll probably turn the camera back on and show you guys, and then I'll go from there with the sighting in process. So let's do it. All right, guys, I'm sorry that this is right in the sun, but we're at 20 yards. I'm going to shoot 3 arrows, and then I'll take you down there, show you where they're hitting, and we're going to make our adjustment. All right, 20 yards. We're going to be going for the middle orange dot just to give us the greatest chance if we do miss a little bit, which I don't think it will. I checked it close up, and it's still pretty close. So let's get 3 arrows down there and see. All right, that one was definitely a little high, but it's on target. So Alright, that one's pretty close. So if this one's up there, then we'll know exactly where we need to make our adjustment. Alright, let's go check them out. Alright, this is what we got. 3 arrows aiming here. So these all 3 missed pretty much exactly the same. So we're gonna show you guys what to do on that for sighting in the bow. So basically, if you're just starting out with this and you've never done this before, the easiest thing to remember is just to chase your arrow with your sight. What that means is, since those arrows were high and left, that's where my sight needs to go. My sight needs to go up and my sight needs to go to the left. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna shoot 3 more. All right guys, so I've adjusted my sight up and left, so we're gonna shoot 3 more and see what happens. Hopefully it'll be a little closer this time. All right, so that one definitely came over from the left for sure. It's still a little high. We'll shoot 2 more and confirm that, hopefully. Pretty much right on top of that one. And guys, please forgive my shooting. It's been a while since I've put in a lot of reps. And this short axle or short brace height turbo model is definitely something that's gonna let you know and keep you honest if your form isn't there. Which is why we're only gonna be probably sighting into 40 today. All right, so all 3 of those, I don't know if you can see, right there. All 3 of those arrows right there are pretty much right where I need, left and right, but they're still high. So I'm gonna move my sight up again and we're gonna shoot them again. All right, so I just made the vertical adjustment one more time. So hopefully these 3 are close and then we can move back to 30. Well, I know that one was where I needed it to be because it went straight through my target because there's a soft spot there. So I'm going to shoot probably just 1 more here. And I'm going to aim just a little high just so it doesn't go through the soft spot like that one did. All right, let me shoot 1 more. Just to make sure I didn't move the sight too high. Like I said, guys, out of practice with shooting in general and shooting this short brace height 80-pound bow, it's really letting me know where my form's at. So there's going to be a lot of work needing to be done in this off season. All right, I think that's going to be close enough. As you guys can see, one of them went straight through the orange. The other 2 just a bit high and a bit left, but I was aiming high. And the left, I think, could be my torque right now. So I'm not gonna get super crazy with this because I'll fine tune it throughout this off season because, like I said, my form's just not there right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna repeat those same steps at 30 and 40 yards, and then I'll show you guys the results. Okay guys, we're finished sighting in 20 through 40 so far. There's my gaps right there. You can kind of see them. I haven't got a sight tape yet, so we're just going to stop at 40, but pretty soon we'll probably go out to, I don't know, on this bow maybe 80. I'm probably not going to try to do anything crazy long range with this like my other bow because, like I said, these 80-pound bows, at least for me with being my first one, it's not going to be a super long range shooter, at least not yet until I practice a little more. But here's my last 4 arrows at 40. As you can see, my target's getting a little soft. That one went in pretty deep, but pretty happy with that. We're going to keep trucking along with this bow, and pretty soon hopefully we'll be laying an arrow into a big old hog with it. But If you like this series, make sure you stay tuned for more. I'm going to have a lot of off-season archery things I'm going to be doing, and all that's going to be leading up to our hog hunt here coming in June. But we're going to have shed hunting, hopefully some turkey hunting, and a bunch of other stuff in between. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.